Caitlin being late, we moved it to 10:25. Thank you for Cliff and Caitlin, Conservation Recreation Authority, for being here. But Bob Eyer, can you step up here, please? But tell you a bit about outdoor recreation and the trails. Cambria County, for a while now, since 2012, it's been part of our economic plan, part of our comprehensive plan of outdoor recreation. We have Rock Run, Ghost Town Trail CNI Extension, Path of the Flood, Jim Muir Trail. Ghost Town Trail, 2020, Trail of the Year, another Path of the Flood, the 2025 Trail of the Year, DCNR. And a lot of work, and the board members had a meeting today, Conservation Recreation Authority, we get it. And we try to kick the tires when we have an event that you come out and you see the trailheads, things of that nature, but things just don't happen overnight. Public-private dollars, this is an example of public-private dollars and volunteerism, this trail, getting things done and working together. Also here today is Dave. I mess up your last name. How do you say your last name? Kessler. It's easy to say, I mess it up. The President Commissioner of Blair County, thank you for being here. Also, Steve McKnight of ABCD Corp, Blair County, with Linda Thompson as the Jari. Steve, he doesn't know I'm going to say this, but if you ever heard of a company called Fourth Economy, he helped find Fourth Economy and helped turn Pittsburgh's economy around in Allegheny County. Steve, thank you for being here, our good neighbors, because the outdoor recreation is very important in Blair County. Also, Indiana County Commissioner Cherie Hess is here. Cherie, in the back. But Cherie is all of our bosses and county commissioners. She is the president of all county commissioners in the state of Pennsylvania, from little Indiana County, where Ghost Town Trail and Hoodlebuck goes through. Cherie Hess, thank you for being here. Mark Cohart, we have a lot of people, I know I'm going to miss people. Mark Cohart, Mark, I don't know what you are now, a mayor, a councilman, volunteer extraordinaire. And we also have Todd from South Fork Historic Society, getting things done and volunteering and building trails that connect Path of the Flood, oh, by the way, to South Fork, because they recognize that's economic development. Outdoor recreation is the front door of economic development. Lisa Rager from the visitors, Johnstown, Visit Johnstown. So Lisa, thank you for being here. They get it. From the Cambria Warden and Cambria Regional Chamber, Deb Warner's here, the vice president. Deb is here somewhere. Deb's down there. Thank you, Deb, for being here. But a lot of people coming here and getting things done didn't happen by accident. It's collaboration, it's working together, it's having disagreements and agreements. So what we found out, Bob Eyer helped plant the seed to get this going. But for years, I meet people on the trail. Where are you from? Evansburg. Where are you from? Twin Rocks. Where are you from? Virginia Beach. Where are you from? Oh, I forgot. Former mayor of Evansburg. People still think he's the mayor. Charlie Moore. Hey, thank you for being Charlie. The Emperor. The Emperor. And I didn't forget one guy. I'm going to get to him in a little bit. He thinks I forgot him. But CR Adventures, Cambria Regional Chamber, we have walks on the trails, at different parts of the trails. It brings people out to different areas that never been to those areas. So one of the reasons we're doing this today, Bob Eyer, who says this all the time, bragging with his chest out, okay, and says, I know where every trailhead's in Cambria County. So we have a CR Adventure, Cambria Regional Chamber, walk at the North Street Trailhead. The North Street Trailhead is one of my favorite trailheads. It's the Ghost Town Trail CNI Extension, the first 2 plastic bridges ever in the country to be on that trailhead. You're about 100 yards in when that happens. And also, by the way, we'll give you second in the country, first east of Oregon, to have the continuous rural loop trail in the country. That's a big deal, and that's going to happen this year. We're going to call Cliff Kitner up to talk to about trails also. We're also, when I say getting things done, when you look that way, we're about 4 miles from St. Francis University. And we're trying to connect St. Francis University to the Ghost Town Trail. Doesn't happen overnight. We have some volunteer meetings, public-private partnerships. Right now, we're in a conversation with St. Francis. It looks like their engineering department's going to engineer the trail. It looks like a company, Pro Disposal, might donate some of their workers and equipment to help build the trail. Didn't happen yet. Crawl, walk, and run. We're getting there. And that's hopefully will happen. And then, oh, by the way, Cambria Heights, Jerry Brandt, I'll get to him in a second. That's what a school board member looks like, right there. The guy in the yellow, that's a school board member right there.
I wore this so Tom could see me since his eyes are getting bad.
So, and also, that's a dinosaur. This is a visionary. Jerry, Lori LaFontaine, D. Columbus, I don't want to forget them, but they thought about the Ghost Town Trail before anybody else was thinking. He can tell stories on the side, but that's what, he knows where the bodies are buried. He has the history. That's what a dinosaur looks like, Jerry Brandt right there. So Cambria Heights High School, where it's at in Clearfield Township, is not that far from Patton Park. There's a trail, people take quads, walk, hike, bike, they connect that. So Cambria Heights High School, they saw what we're doing in the county. The commissioners last term gave NCDC Corp, I don't think anybody's here from NCDC Corp, $850,000 to build a connection to Firefighters Memorial Trail between Carrolltown and Patton, because we walked that trail so many times. It's rural banking, have that connection, but we lose out on grants. So the deal was, we give them money, whatever that trail costs. If it's more than $850,000, they got to pay the difference. So if I had to guess, they're going to be within $850,000, because they're not going to pay the difference out of their pocket. They're going to build that trail connecting Carrolltown to Patton, Patton to Carrolltown, and then they're going to give it to Conservation and Recreation Authority, and they'll maintain it. So the Vision, Cambria Heights saw that. They built that trail, the Highlander Trail, between Patton Park and the high school. So the Firefighters Memorial Trail will be about 3 miles long. And then you get to Patton, and then you got to go through Patton, which is good. People may stop, buy coffee, eat, things of that nature. Activity. You go to Patton Park, activity, and there's restrooms. And then you go to the high school, activity, where you go from the high school to Carrolltown, activity. And oh, by the way, the third most used state park in Pennsylvania, we're at right here in Cambria County, Prince Gallitzin State Park. And also, by the way, we have Rock Run, a very neighboring, nice visitor, good neighbor to Prince Gallitzin State Park. But the game plan is to connect Prince Gallitzin State Park to Carrolltown. So a lot of things happening. And what I vision, and thank you for Blair County being here, I can see Penn State Altoona being connected to Mount Aloysius, Mount Aloysius being connected to St. Francis University, because it can be done. Cliff, raise your hand. That's the guy that's going to get it done, working with this commissioner right there to get it done, and then be connected to St. Francis. St. Francis right now is actually, other than that rural trail, is connected to Blairsville. Cherie, you guys are on top of that. We'll be connected now to IUP with the Hoodle Bug. And thank you for being here, because we know outdoor recreation has no boundaries. When people come and recreate, they spend money, OPM, other people's money in our community, and we know the better Johnstown does, better Altoona, Indiana, Blairsville, Evansburg, Crescent, South Fork, we all win. And this is working together. Now, Jerry Brandt, thank you for your vision. And you can talk to Jerry in Sidebar, he'll tell you how the trail was built. But Bob Eyer got lost, so we talked about, he knows where all the trailheads are at. And we started talking more, and he realized he doesn't. And there's 100 different ways to get on and off the trail. But there's actually only 23 official trailheads in Cambria County. So we get calls once in a while, I do, I know Cliff and Caitlin does, they say the grass is not cut. Well, that's not a trailhead. Just because you're parking there doesn't mean it's a trailhead. So we have 23 official trails. There's an address on this, and that's, can't get lost, Bob Eyer, okay? And also, I reached out to Vale Wood Farms. I reached out to Up and Running. Vale Wood Farms, you employ what, 85 people? Ish, yes, now in Walmart. And the Vale Wood Farms does a great job, community involvement. Their business is open to the community. When there's a run or a hike, they donate products, and thank you for what you do. Up and Running, same thing, very inviting store, downtown Evansburg. They deal with the locals and out-of-towners, and very inviting. We need to have your shirt stay there for 2 months so people can pick it out, pack it, pick up, things of that nature. Julie and your team, thank you for being here and be a part of it. So part of the Trailhead Challenge will stop. Cliff, can you come up and talk a little bit about Cliff? Cliff's busy. A little bit about the trails that I missed.
Well, yeah, I think the big thing that was missed this morning, our board approved contracting to build the 2 bridges to create the loop rail trail. So that will be started once we go through the DEP approvals and the DCNR approvals, then we'll be able to start that project probably within a month. So that'll finish the loop this year. We'll go through the contractor's pre-construction meetings and find out exactly what their time frame is in getting everything done. But as I told the paper this morning, we've been running a marathon for 10 years trying to get this project done. And anybody that's ever run a marathon, my running friends that are here and all that kind of stuff, we all know what it takes to work hard to be able to finish a marathon. When you start that marathon, you're like, man, that's a long way to run. But then when you get close to the finish line and you can actually see the finish line, you get that little bit of extra energy and adrenaline that starts flying. Well, we see the finish line now, and that's an exciting part about this whole. One of the things I wanted to do when I started here 10 years ago was to create trail in the United States other than the one in Oregon. So we are now again seeing that finish line, and we have this whole I call it a snowball effect. I forget how Kacklebar put it this morning, but when you have folks like South Fork Historical Society, they're creating a volunteer group to help us. We had a couple big trees down in the Vintondale area, so I made a phone or a text message to the fire chief in Vintondale, and they went out and took care of the trees for us. So all this kind of stuff snowballs into what we have today, and even though it's a lot of work and hard, it's all the people that came before me that really created this, like the Jerry Brandts of the world and Lori and Dee, because the vision they started, and then I just jumped on board and we take off and we go, and it's becoming what it is today. Now we get invited to talk at state seminars and conferences and about what we're doing and those kind of things, and it's just been snowballing and going from there. We had a tree issue on the Coy-McCombie link on the path of the flood, and I talked to one of the volunteers while I was there, and he said, "Did you see it?" I said, "I saw it," and he goes, "I saw it too." 2 days later, it was taken care of. I didn't have to say anything else, and that's the kind of cooperation we're getting with the community and how important it is to the community. And like with South Fork building the 2 off-road sections, they're looking at properties to buy. They're looking at ways to make the trail better through their community and so forth. And it's a wonderful thing to see. Mark was telling me a story yesterday. He's at the barber, and the barber's yelling him something, over the phone. He just said, "Just tell him thank you for all you do for the community." So it's those kind of things. It's the little things, because that's all we do. We do this for the communities, to make the communities better, whether it be for people that live here or whether they be for people coming in from out of town. And it's just about making the communities better, whether it's economics or wellness or what have you. And that's what we're all about, and that's why we do what we do. And I mean, my happy place is to be out in the woods on the trail or what have you. And I have yet to meet somebody that has been on the trail and say, "You know what, it sucks being out here." So I don't know if anybody ever says that. So I feel what we do is very important. And one of the other things that we were able to do is get a QR code for donations and stuff like that. And now we actually had somebody donate through that QR code from New Mexico. So we've been able to catch people, whether they be from Switzerland or Oregon or New Mexico. We've been able to catch them on the trail before in different ways, but now with this donation, we can actually see where all these people are coming from, and it's a great thing to see.
Trails have been connecting communities. Our community is connected. We see people on the bikes. Cindy Dunn, head of DCNR, talked to us about 5-6 years ago about the bikes with baskets. I see more of them now than ever before, but they're in Evansburg going to visit their kids in Antiglo, and then their kids visit and they bring back goods. Okay, that connects communities. Outdoor recreation is done as part of our county for mental and physical health, and also a big part of connecting communities. And they thought I was going to forget them is Camtran. And then they're to my left or right maybe. But Camtran's been a big part. We have public transportation in entire Cambria County. When people say you can't get from here to here, you can. Yeah, it may take you a little bit longer than normal, but we have rack and ride. And you see that bike on that bus. There, if you want to participate and join us June 3rd this year, we've been doing it now for the last 3 or 4 years. I get on a bus, take public transportation, put my bike on it, and we go to a location. We bike the trails. Cliff, Caitlin, and whoever joins us, we bike the trails, and Camtran people. Thank you for joining us. Then we eat lunch somewhere in Antiglo, Evansburg, in the community to bring it all together, just to remind people about public transportation, trails, and economic development. And also, we talk about for health and wellness and physical. My younger brother here is here today. The guy used to weigh like 800 pounds. And I went, he's been doing it, and he's not really athletic or anything like that, but Chris, he's right behind the Blair County Commissioner Dave, that's right there. Look at that, he's in shape now from using the trails. Yeah, that's called eating well too. But now we'll get to what we're doing today. 23 trails. Carissa and Julie, can you come up? Go here a little bit, if you don't mind. I like to have them say a few words, but they're part of it. The 23 trails, you go to every trailhead. You have until May 1st, until November 2nd at midnight. You can drive there, but the idea behind it is to get locals and non-locals to go to every trailhead. Thank you, Bob Eyer, and know where the trailheads are at. And thank you, Conservation Recreation Authority, for putting the address. The address has always been up, and now we have it on a piece of paper, easier to get to. Put it in your Google Maps, and you'll find the location. So, and thank you to Julie and Carissa for putting up with me. I talked to them about my idea, but really Bob Eyer kind of proceed for that. And thank you, Bob. Yeah, because you got lost. And we said, you know, we can't have anybody get lost like this. So all you got to do is have a picture of the trail with your face in every one of them. But Conservation Recreation Authority, so Kate wouldn't beat me up. You send it to her through Facebook Messenger one time, all 23 pictures, okay, at one time. Your picture has to be, you can be laying at the trailhead. You don't have to walk it or hike it or run it, just be at the trailhead. And then if we have 5 people, 10 people, 105, 2, we'll put it in a jar, or the wheel goes around, and we'll put your name. You're going to win a $250 gift certificate from Vale Wood Farms, a $250 gift certificate from Up and Running. That's what you'll win. Carissa, want to say a little bit?
Well, yeah, I just want to thank you for all your work. You're thanking everyone else, and I think it's important to take a moment to thank Tom for putting so much effort into this. For sure, sweat equity. How many people have been on the trail and actually seen Tom? Right? You know, I mean, I feel that you lived out there. I'm not certain, but it's a project that you're really committed to. And so, as a local business owner, you know, we're committed to our local community. My farm, I'm part of a 6th generation of our family dairy farm. And as I'm listening to you talk about all the local towns, those are all towns that we deliver milk and dairy products to.
And you can go to Blair County too.
We do. All those places you mentioned today, we can deliver milk and dairy products to. So we're so proud to be a part of this effort, and Celsius too as well. So we're so glad to work with the community on this project. Thank you.
Sure.
I mean, the trail and the resources and everything in Evansburg is why we decided to open up our shop here about 10 years ago. We were always involved with the running community, and it's just, the trail is, my husband ran at St. Francis, and even back in the day when he was there, they ran on the trail. And so having something like this in the community, we are a big proponent of, and getting outdoors, you know, it's all part of that mental health and wellness. And so just anything we can do to bring more awareness and get people outdoors and something that we're happy to be involved with.
That's it. We're done.
Well,
Thank
before we leave, we got to give the greatest proponent of the trails
Listen
in
to
the
that man right
multi-county
there.
area,
Listen to that man behind the
to
curtain.
Tom Chernisky. So let's give him a big applause.
But thank you, media. Altoona Mirror, Tribune, Mainline, WJC, TAJ. This is not the fake news. This is the real deal here. We don't have fake news here. Thank you.